Good afternoon. Let me call this meeting of the Monroe County Capital Improvement Board, October 15th, 2025, to order. And I will ask Mr. Whitlatch to take the roll, please.
John Weikart,
Present.
Doug Bruce,
Here.
Jeff McKim,
Here.
Joyce Poling, Jim Silverstein,
Here.
Adam Teese,
Here.
and Jay Bear remotely. Here.
That's remotely Jay Bear right there on the screen. Let me mention, and I want to thank the staff of the Convention Center. For those of you who keep track of such historical things, this is the 2-year anniversary of our first meeting of the Capital Improvement Board. And they have very kindly provided a cake, which, go ahead, I'll do that again. This is the 2nd year anniversary. Now you may applaud again. Very good. And they have provided a cake in the back of the room to commemorate this. And so they will now, Lisa, I think, is going to cut the cake, and you're welcome to get up and grab yourself a piece of cake and help us celebrate our 2nd anniversary of meetings. Let me also recognize that there are a number of dignitaries who are with us today as well. Piedmont Smith just joined us. You people who are, you folks who are very important people know who you are, so just give each other a nod and a wave, and then we'll move on to recognition other than that. So thank you for being with us. Item number 2 is approval of the consent agenda, which included the minutes of the board meeting of September 17th, claims and financial report. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, so moved by Mr. McKim and seconded by Mr. Silverstein. Any questions, discussions about that? Seeing and hearing none, would you take the roll, please?
John Weikart,
Yes.
Doug Bruce,
Yes.
Jeff McKim,
Yes.
Joyce Poling,
Yes.
Jim Silverstein,
Yes.
Adam Teese,
Yes.
Jay Bear. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 3, treasurer's report. Mr. McKim, anything to report?
Nothing to report.
Okay, thank you. Item number 4, president's report. Since our last meeting, I want to report to you that I have made 2 approvals on the construction project that are within the limits you set for me for approvals between meetings. One was for below grade abandoned well remediation at $2,270. The second one was for adding additional aggregate piers to accommodate the foundation change required by the increased size of the sanitary sewer at $11,350. So be happy to answer any questions you may have about those. I will let you know that we're working on with Weddle Brothers and J.S. Held a report form, kind of a running report form on these change orders that affect the contingency budget. And I will begin to provide that next week or for next month's meeting as part of the consent agenda, so that you'll be able to keep your own running track of what's been approved and what we've worked on together. So thank you. Item number 5, construction update. Andrew?
Yes, sir. Andrew Sherry, project manager with Weddle Brothers. Share my screen here. So just a couple things to talk about, just the overall construction progress to date, foundation work, which is obviously ongoing heavily right now, and then the upcoming activities that we're kind of preparing for. Construction progress. So we've completed all ground improvements on the expansion side. We do have some that will take place with the connectors. We set up some fence and do our logistics plan on this side of college. Foundations are in progress. So footers, foundation walls, anchor bolts, all the moving parts and pieces there. Underground utilities are going to be starting, specifically the underground detention system, which is 5-foot in diameter pipe. Near the loading dock area, we start getting deliveries on that tomorrow. We are preparing for structural steel, and then we're also preparing for underground mechanical, electrical, and plumbing rough-in. So to prep for our slab on grade, that'll take place as we start our structural steel, set up our crane, and kind of mobilize from the east towards the west. Foundation work. So concrete footers have been poured around the perimeter, the east and the north side. Hopefully everybody's seen that. If not, take a look. It's pretty neat. We do have interior spread pads that are progressing on the interior portion of the building. Over 500 lineal feet of foundation walls have been formed and poured as of this morning. Obviously more going on today, and we're pouring concrete at least once a day, if not twice or 3 times. So a lot of things. nearly 40 sets of anchor bolts have been completed and set in concrete. We're setting those every day. And that's just preparing us for our structural steel delivery, which we're anticipating at the end of this month as far as sequence one. So then it'll start staggering in. I think we have 20 something sequences in total that is broke out in bigger portions of the project. But then we have the long span trusses, which each of those individual members are around 26,000 pounds. So we have those as our own individual sequence because we'll build those on the ground, pick those and set them, and then work our way out of the building. Upcoming activities, again, structural steel. So material will start arriving near the end of October. In November, we will start seeing structural steel being set. On this picture on the left side of the picture, that'd be the east side of the project. That's where we're going to start as sequence one, kind of wrap the register lot area and then work our way out to the west. Underground detention system. So again, the stormwater, we're going to start getting semi-loads of 5-foot pipe tomorrow. That work we're hoping to start on Monday, Tuesday. So a lot of excavations taking place down there. And then again, our underground rough in with mechanical, electrical, and plumbing. We've had a lot of coordination to see what we can set, what our cranes will reach, what protection we need for that, and then how we can start to come into these winter months and start pouring slab on grade and really start to button things up. So all great things. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Andrew. Any questions for Andrew about construction progress? Any comments? Okay, thank you. Item number 6, alternate bid recommendations. And I'm going to ask Mr. Teese if he will give us a report from the evaluation committee that reviewed the ultimate bids that we still have left on the project.
Certainly happy to do that. Group of folks from the CIB met. We talked about the alternates with our owner's reps and with our construction firm. What it really comes down to is the 4 alternates that were remaining that we had discussed at our previous meetings are really relevant to the existing building. They're largely relevant to long-term issues that are related to building maintenance as opposed to our new capital improvement project that we're doing across the street. We looked at our finance and our budget aspects of the project, and the committee at this time recommends to this full group that we not accept any of the alternates, that we progress further through the construction project, which will let us really understand our contingencies better, and then be able to make a more informed financial decision later on in the project. So at this time, the group that gathered would make a recommendation to the full CIB to not accept any of the remaining 4 alternates, and happy to answer any questions that all of you might have about the deliberations.
Why don't we do this, since it's a recommendation, let's have a motion to accept the recommendation in a second, and then we can open the floor up for questions or discussion. So is there a motion to accept the recommendation?
Second.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded, and now we can open the floor up for questions, discussion. Yes.
Well, can you just remind everybody what the 4 alternates that we are rejecting are?
Sure. Window replacement on this building, tuck pointing or masonry work, kind of a little of both. And then 2 that are related to our air handling system in this building, and then what's called a makeup air unit or a fresh air unit related to this building. So they're both kind of HVAC related for the last 2.
Any other questions?
Just for clarification, as I understand it, those 4 items probably would have been necessary for the old building, regardless of the new project.
Yes, over time. Maybe not immediately today. We're enjoying comfortable air in the building, but over time, yes.
I think as I've thought about these alternates, a couple of them certainly would fall to me under the definition of deferred maintenance, be that the masonry or the windows. And I think it gives us an opportunity not only to reevaluate where we are in our budget when we get further into the project, but also to have conversation with other potential funding sources on how we might be able to fund these projects moving forward. Remember that these projects were all part of what would have occurred in 2027 after we finish the new construction project. So I'm happy to be involved in conversations with other funding partners about what we are not able to fund out of our $52 million budget, whether resources may be available to help us fund all four of these, because all four of them certainly are projects we'd like to be able to fund and like to be able to move forward. So I'm committed to having those conversations, and I know others have volunteered to be involved in them as well. So those are my comments about it. Oh, yeah, Mr. Bear.
Just a point of clarification, setting these aside today does not preclude us from picking these alternates back up at a later date. We just might need to rebid them.
Correct.
Yeah, Mr. T said that was correct.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah. So we're not rejecting them. We're simply kicking the can down the road a bit until we have a better understanding of where we are.
Can we give a clarification to that, please? It wouldn't be a rebid process. It would be a change order process that we would go through at a later date.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions or concerns? All right, we have a motion and a second to accept the recommendation. So, Mr. Whitlatch, if you would take the roll.
Microphone works, but John Weikart,
Yes.
Doug Bruce,
Yes.
Jeff McKim,
Yes.
Joyce Pauling,
Yes.
Jim Silverstein,
Yes.
Adam Teese,
Yes.
and Jay Bear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 7, wayfinding and signage design and implementation. I think Mary, you're going to handle this recommendation?
Yes, as we are assigned by the CIB, we solicited RFPs for the wayfinding services for the project. We sent those out to 8 different firms, and we received 5 responses back on October 6th. We had clarified through addendum questions that they may have had. So there were 5 proposals. They ranged in a fee structure from $78,000 up to $153,000 for the services. 2 were from out of state, 3 were from the Indianapolis area. The recommendation of the committee was served by John and Joyce and Jim to some extent, although he was out tootling around some island somewhere. Again, ourselves were involved in that process. And so through that process, we evaluated each and looked at their schedules, et cetera. The recommendation of the committee is to award that to Schmidt Associates. They had a fee of $78,041 plus reimbursables of $5,000. So that was a very reasonable response, and we are happy to make the recommendation.
Okay, so do we have a motion to accept the recommendation?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. T, seconded by Joyce Pauling. Now we can open the floor up for questions, discussion, comments. Anything from board members? All right, seeing and hearing none. Mr. Whitlatch, would you take the roll, please?
John Weikart,
Yes.
Doug Bruce,
Yes.
Jeff McKim,
Yes.
Joyce Pauling,
Yes.
Jim Silverstein,
Yes.
Adam Teese,
Yes.
Jay Bear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item number 8, Arts Project Update, our BEAD Advisory Group. I see Galen Cassidy and Holly Warren are both back with us today.
You hear me? Thanks for your time today. So again, Holly and I are part of the BEAD Advisory Committee. Last time we were with you last month, we were in the middle of a feedback session that has concluded. So we're here today to talk to you about those takeaways and the next steps for the BEAD group in terms of the art selection process. So I'm going to hand it over to Holly to talk about those takeaways here.
Thanks, Galen. Hi, everyone. Thanks for the next slide. Perfect. So we had a great feedback session. Thanks for all of you who participated. We had over 30 people in our in-person feedback session. That's the most we've ever had at one of these, so that was great. We got almost 200 responses to our online survey, also great. And we also talked to many members of the community on the street to learn more about what they wanted to see. It was very heartening because everybody had great things to say. We usually get a couple of grumpy folks, but everybody was really happy and excited about this. And so what we did is, oh, I'm so sorry. Let me move over here. I was worried about that. Okay, sorry about that. Thanks, Isabel. So I just wanted to share what our overall takeaways were and what we will be including in our call for artist qualifications, which will go out very soon. So what we saw was people were very interested in seeing something that would reflect Bloomington's past and present, as well as our values of inclusivity, creativity, diversity, and open-mindedness. Folks also want to see something that contributes to the identity of the convention center as a place that is engaging, inclusive, safe, and accessible for all ages and backgrounds. People are very interested in seeing something that sparks curiosity, joy, and reflection. They want to see a work of art that people are going to admire, photograph, share, and return to. There is also a request that when possible, we think about sustainable options and doing functional artwork, thinking about lighting, seating, things like that. Things that people that will be potentially gathering in or around the convention center will actually be able to use. They also, of course, want it to be an excellent work of art. I think we all want that. And finally, like all pieces of public art, we want it to be low maintenance, durable, and I love this. We want it to withstand time, weather, and trends. We are really looking for something that's timeless here. So we're really happy about that. And then if you can advance to the next slide. So now that we've concluded our feedback session, the next step is to release a call for artist qualifications across the globe to our public art expert networks to make sure that the most qualified artists and artist teams are seeing this call. And as a reminder, this call qualifications is not a call for actual proposals for the art. This is just for artists and artist groups, architects and designers to show us what they've got to do something amazing. We were originally intending on putting this call out on October 6th. We're a little behind, but with your blessing, we would like to go ahead and release this call for qualifications tomorrow. We'll extend the deadline by about a week just to make sure there's ample time for folks to submit their applications. And even with that extended deadline, we will still be on track to finish our first review period of applications by I think mid-December. So the invitations to the finalists will be out before the end of the year. So we will still be on track with that little change. And then as a reminder, that will take us through the end of 26. And then the finalists, we're going to recommend about 5 of them. We'll have until mid-March to show us their proposals. At that point, our recommendation committee will review those proposals. We'll also do another round of public feedback to learn what people think about the designs. And then we'll make a final recommendation to this committee. We're hoping in April to be able to make an offer to the artist that we all agree is the best fit for the project. And then I want to talk a little bit more about the finalists and the budget. So if you could advance to the next slide. So after some conversations in the past couple of weeks with some industry experts, we agreed to raise the amount of money given to the finalists for this project to receive as an honoraria for doing the work. Now, the reason why we're doing this is pretty much an industry standard to be able to compel artists to take the time and use their skills to give us a proposal. We want to give them a little money for that labor. And again, this is industry standard, and we vetted these amounts that we would be giving each of these 5 finalists. It's $5,000 with many experts in public art, both locally and around the nation. So again, we are recommending that those 5 finalists that will come out of this first round of application review, which each receive an honorarium of $5,000 to submit their final proposal. In addition to that, we'd like to offer out-of-town artists So these are the finalists who don't live in Bloomington. Reimbursable travel expenses up to $1,500 to be able to come to Bloomington, see the town, meet with some of our stakeholders so they really get a sense of what the community is, so they can ensure that as they're composing their proposals, that they're really capturing our spirit. With that, and I also want to point out, so that amount of money, which is just over $30,000, is going to be separate from the amount that we're going to make the arts project actually worth. So we're going to make the call itself $400,000, and that will include the fee for the artist that we ultimately choose, fabrication fees, that will also include install fees, insurance, shipping, and also a contingency fee. We'll also expect that the artist is going to hold a chunk of that $400,000 back for any unexpected expenses. So with that $400,000 for the call and that just over $32,000 for the artist finalist honorarium and travel, that will take us to $432,500. And then we've still got that nice check of $87,500 left to expand the permanent art collection in the convention center expansion. And again, that's something that we're going to start working on after the expansion opens. And that is going to be art by local artists only. We see this as a great opportunity to be able to value our local artists. And then if you could move to the next slide. So again, next steps are we're hoping to release the call tomorrow. It's pretty much set to go and be released to all our networks. Pretty soon after that, we're going to assemble the members of our recommendation committee just to review this process with them and talk through the rubric that we're going to be using to review the first round of proposals. And we just wanted to share the members of the recommendation committee with all of you today. So it will be Galen, myself, and then it will be Jennifer Muye Zinovich from the BEAD subcommittee. It will also be Adam Teese and Joyce Poland from the CIB committee. Thanks for you two both for agreeing to be on it. It will also include Christina Elam, who is the current chair of the Bloomington Arts Commission's Public Arts Subcommittee. It will also include Rob Shakespeare, who many of you I'm sure know. He's an awesome public art and light installation artist, also a member of the Bloomington Arts Commission. We are truly honored to have Maya Michelson, who actually created my position here at the city. She's now the executive director of the Indiana Arts Commission. She'll also be joining us on the committee, as will Natalie Almanza. She is a member of the public who works at Indiana University and also a former chair of the Bloomington Arts Commission's Public Arts Subcommittee. We are in great hands with this recommendation committee. And that's all I have to share, but I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Thanks. Yes.
Thanks. So in the first cut where you're just looking at artists, are you basing the decision entirely on past performance, or do they present some sort of vision for the project?
It will all be past performance. It will all be qualifications. So they'll be asked to present their CVs. They'll also be asked to present formal projects that they have worked on, and they'll be asked to answer questions about, did you stay within your budget? What was the process like? What challenges did you have to overcome? What is your experience working with stakeholders in the community? And what is your experience reflecting communities that you might be parachuting into to make sure that they see themselves in the art? And again, this is pretty industry standard when we do two-step calls like this one.
Thank you.
That happens to me every time. I had a conversation with Maya Michelson recently about another matter, and she mentioned to me that the costs that are proposed here for proposal submissions for travel are in fact industry standard, that artists would expect this, that they're used to that. And so that was certainly not surprising to Maya that that's part of the recommendation. My only second observation is the reason I've always said Janice from Clash Gallery is because I've never known how to pronounce her last name. I told her that one time, and she gave me a poem that she had written that helped me learn how to do that. So I can be happy to share that with all of you at another time as well. So thank you, Holly. Any other questions for Holly about the proposal? So I think we're all in agreement to charge forward. So thank you very much for your presentation.
All right. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, Galen.
Item number 9, hotel update. Jane Coopersmith is here from the City of Bloomington from the Economic and Sustainable Development Department. So Jane, welcome.
And muscle it. Is it on? Hello? Is this thing on?
Not yet.
I think it's on now. Yeah, Jane Cooper Smith, Director of Economic and Sustainable Development for the City of Bloomington. As you all know, the CIB selected a hotel developer about this time last year, and the city is engaged in via the Bloomington Redevelopment Commission in those negotiations. And the adults are still talking is how I would summarize it. The lawyers are negotiating terms. I'll be meeting with Mr. Dora on Friday to discuss some potential details of the project, but we remain committed to moving through negotiations, as does the Dora and Louderbeck team. So nothing major to report at this time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jane. Item number 10, old business. And if I may, and I first want to thank Jane for attending these meetings monthly and for giving us these updates. I will tell you, I've shared with you some email correspondence. I've had conversations with both Mr. Dora and Jane, and I have had some conversations back and forth recently. It has been 1 year since we selected Dora as the hotel developer, and 1 year ago this month that we referred Dora to the city, and we use the terms interchangeably, the city, the redevelopment commission, to begin discussions about their interest in the Bunger-Robertson property. And at the time we made the referral, we mentioned then that the developers who had responded to our RFP told us that this process was probably a 3-year process. By the time we got through design and then through construction before we would have the doors open to a new hotel. So a year has passed and we are still 3 years away from the same thing we were away. That was the distance in time that we had a year ago. Vince Dora told me that by the time we talked through some timelines, that design activity is probably at least 6 months worth of work, and we're still in the 2.5 years of construction. So I indicated to both Vince and to Jane and to others that although we appreciate their efforts and we appreciate their intentions, and we appreciate the fact that everyone has been well-meaning and trying to move this project forward, that it's clear from what everybody tells us that certainly there are some issues that have to do with, as understandably so and not unsurprisingly, funding for the project. There are potentially questions about design and what exactly ought to be in a full-service hotel, and what could be scaled back to meet some of the financial goals that the parties would need to meet. And I've shared with them, we understand that. We've gone through that same process with our own construction project. We had the design and expansion based on how much money we had, and we had $52 million for construction. So our design fit the $52 million budget. So we understand that as they move into design, that budget and design have to come together, have to marry together. And we're certainly willing, as I've told both parties, to consider what they come up with in terms of, does the design that's being proposed meet our definition of what we were looking for in a full-service hotel. But a year having passed, what I am asking now, and I'm going to ask the board to endorse, is that we notified the city of Bloomington and the RDC and Dora, the hotel developer, of our requirement that the CIB receive a formal joint agreement upon report from the city and Dora with a path forward, including timelines for design and construction phases and a time schedule for development of the hotel, and that we receive that report from them by no later than our December 17th regular meeting. So basically a 60-day timeline for us to receive much more specific information and to signal to us that we are actually moving forward and that we can expect forward movement and we can expect design and construction to actually take place. If the two parties are not prepared to make this report by the December CIB regular meeting, The CIB will consider the options available to it to fulfill its responsibility to select a host hotel, including reissuing the RFP for a hotel developer. And I will simply add to that both the county ordinance that created this body and the interlocal agreement between the four governmental parties working together with us to move this project forward. The CIB has the responsibility to select a hotelier for this project and to move forward successfully to having a host hotel. And we need this information in order to fulfill that responsibility. So again, I'm asking for a report back from the two parties by not later than our December 17th regular meeting, with timelines for design and construction phases and a schedule for development of the hotel by that meeting. So I'm asking for your endorsement that would permit us to move forward with that notification to the two parties. And I would ask that endorsement in the form of a motion if you're inclined to make such.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or further comment from any board members? Mr. McKim.
And so I think I heard you say this, but did both the city and Dora were aware that this that you would be making this kind of statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I made both aware. Yes, I made both aware. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay, we have a motion and a second.
John Weikart,
Yes?
Doug Bruce,
Yes.
Jeff McKim,
Yes.
Joyce Poling,
Yes.
Jim Silverstein,
Yes.
Adam Teese,
Yes.
Jay Bear.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item, new business. Is there any new business to be brought before the board? Comments from board members? Any comments from board members? Comments from the public? The public is welcome to make any comments. We ask that you hold those comments to a 2-minute time limit. I see Jane Cooper Smith is making her way back up to the microphone. Welcome back, Jane.
Hello, everyone. Long time. No problem. I just wanted to talk to you briefly about Bloomington's identity and kind of how we are looking at this broadly in the city from an economic development perspective. We really see the Beeline Trail as the spine of our great community, from the Switchyard Park on the south to Hopewell, and then obviously being adjacent to this new convention center is really incredible. And then going north, we have the Trades District, and then even further north than that, we're working on a new project that, if approved, would be called the Stadium District. This is the area surrounding Miller Showers Park, and it is a gateway to our fair city. And we feel that the branding of this district would be really helpful in promoting yet another neighborhood node in Bloomington, and will help those businesses advance themselves, and also it will help visitors kind of identify, this part of Bloomington as being really near the stadium and appropriate for sports destinations and stuff like that. Why is this important to the CIB? Well, we also think the Stadium District and the entire area, if approved, name the Stadium District, and the entire area on the north side would be really critical during this window before the host hotel is open, in that we'll have an identifiable neighborhood and potentially be able to work with private shuttles or Bloomington Transit in order to transport visitors from that district down here. So feels like there's a lot of opportunity there. And then rewinding back to the Trades District, which is, north of here and south of the Miller Showers area. I also wanted to extend an invitation to a block party there on November 7th from 5 to 8. We hope you can all come join us and see what's happening with the CCC grant. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jane. Any other comments from the public? Yes. Mike McAfee from Visit Bloomington's making his way.
That gets open as soon as possible. Just want to get it down. And I agree with her. I know that the stadium district all that, it's going to be great. We try to do that, but this hotel room is right here, it's downtown. So,
Thank you, Mike. Any other comments from the public? All right, seeing none, our next board meeting is Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 3 p.m. back here in the Convention Center. With that, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, and we are adjourned. Thank you.